I have never met someone who planned to fail. But unfortunately, every day, every week, every month, every year, I come across dozens, if not hundreds, of sales professionals who have failed to plan. And what's worse than failing to plan is inaction. And normally inaction comes from just not knowing what to do. So in today's episode, we are going to break down the daily, weekly, and monthly success habits of mortgage sales professionals who are at the top of their game. If you are a mortgage broker, a loan officer, an MLO, or someone who slings loans for a living, you are not going to want to miss today's episode. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children 18 plus. You are tuned in to the Loan Officer Podcast with me, Dustin Owen, and my main man,
JC
John Coleman.
D.O., what's popping?
We are less than 2 weeks out from the FAMP event in Orlando, Florida.
Yep.
Dude, I'm so pumped.
I know.
I'm going to be golfing on Wednesday.
Losing balls.
Speaking on Friday. I think the big evening event is that Thursday.
Free drinks, open bar?
Don't know about free drinks, but maybe we can buddy up next to some vendors, next to some MI companies, and I can get a couple free drinks slid your way.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll take care of you because
Thank
we all
you.
know if it's free, it's for
free.
JC.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
That's-
if it's free, it's
Good
for
job.
JC.
Good job, Dustin.
Yeah, like today's episode is going to be free.
Okay.
Free knowledge. In fact, we'll be even willing to give away our blueprint.
Holy shit.
Yeah. All you have to do is email mark@tloponline.com.
Oh, shit.
Email Mark, M-A-R-K, at TLOP, T-L-O-P, online.com, and he will provide you for free
Oh, damn.
the blueprint. You're probably saying, what's the blueprint? Well, the
Well-
blueprint is what we're going to be talking about.
Okay.
The blueprint, if you are a mortgage sales professional, which, by the way, John, do you know why I say mortgage sales professional over and over and over again?
Because it's harder than just saying MLO.
No, not necessarily. Although sometimes if I get too ahead of myself, I could slur MLO. No, it's because I don't care if you're a mortgage broker. I don't care if you're a mortgage banker. I don't care if you call yourself a mortgage advisor. I don't care if you call yourself VP of lending, although you're the VP of nothing.
Right.
I mean, you're the VP of your book of business. You're
Correct.
the VP for your clients, but come on, you're not a VP. No, I don't care what you call yourself, but if you help consumers acquire financing to purchase real estate, whatever you want to call yourself, to me, mortgage sales professional is all encompassing. So today's episode is going to be specifically for MLOs, but we are going to be covering one of the hottest topics, one of the most requested, one of the most requested requests.
That's what
We'd
it
say
is.
one of the biggest requests we get as a coaching and training company, as content creators, is like, can you all just help me figure out what do I need to do every day? What do I need to do every week? What are top sales professionals in the mortgage industry doing every month? How are they generating those leads? How are they closing those loans? How are they making all of that money?
Right.
So let's do this. I don't know exactly where we want to go with this because ultimately we're going to end up making a training video and we'll host that for our members of the TLOP MLO coaching community. But I like to give away things for free.
Yeah.
I really do. So this is going to be me teaching from the blueprint without actually being able to show you the blueprint. If you want to copy the blueprint,
Good. It's called a teaser because now they're going to be so enthralled about what the blueprint is. They're going to have to do a little bit of research, digging down, or just email my boy Mark at TLOP Online and get a free blueprint sent to their inbox.
Exactly. And the blueprint is something that we put together. It took us over 6 months. We had 9 collaborators, including Mark's mom.
Oh,
Who is
shit.
like an Excel wizard.
Mama Mark?
Yeah, because I wanted to make this thing so simple that you could print it out and put it on your desk every day, and it stares at you and you stare at it.
Oh.
I wanted it to be so basic that you could pull it up in an Excel document and have it sit on one of your 2 or 3 monitors, and it stares at you and you stare at it.
Nice.
And eventually we're going to work with a programmer and we're going to have it turned into an app.
Digimatized.
Yep. And we will do that. I'm going to put it out there. We will do that the minute we onboard our 600th.
600.
Yep. So we're halfway there right now.
Yeah.
Right. So we're at 300. When we onboard our 600th MLO coaching community member,
Yeah.
because it's a membership, just like a gym membership, that's when we will reach out to a developer and we will have them turn the blueprint into an app. That way you can do it digitally from your phone.
Look at you, Dustin, changing lives.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just discuss it. And this is as simplified as it can be. If you follow this at 70%, I guarantee you success.
Bullshit.
If you follow it at 80%, I guarantee you that much more success. And if you knock it out of the park, like meaning you do this for the next 12 weeks, and let's say you nail it 9 out of 12 weeks, you will see incremental, exponential growth in your business. And imagine if you were to do it for 6 months or 12 months.
Oh, wow.
Imagine what you do. Double your business, double your income, double your savings, completely change your family and your family's family life.
Oh, wow.
All based on following the most basic principles.
I'm excited, and I'm not even in the loan origination business.
You're not excited. You are lying to these people. You promised me there's only 2 people you lie to, and now you're lying to our people.
No, the only people I lie to are my wife and my mom because I actually care about their feelings.
Okay, well then don't lie to our people then. You said you're excited.
I am excited because once we get this kicked off, we only got 30 more minutes in this chair. So I'm thoroughly excited to get this shit started.
All right, let's go ahead and get this thing kicked off. Okay, this is what I've learned 20 plus years of. I was a rookie. I was broke. I was lost. I was scared. I had a mentor, but she wasn't necessarily the most accessible mentor. Didn't really make herself available for my success.
Right.
I've started branches. I've run regions. I've run divisions. Like I've created a rookie loan officer program that has brought over 36 mortgage professionals into this industry. So I'm taking that 20 years of experience and taking the best parts of what I was coached, what I was taught, what I learned the hard way, what I watched other people do the hard way, and we're breaking it down and we're simplifying it to where like we know this works. It is this basic and this simple. You can't screw it up. Right? It's kind of like, how can I be healthy? I'm like, well, don't drink alcohol, don't eat processed foods, and work out 4 to 5 times a week for at least 50 minutes. And please get your heart rate up to like, let's say 100 while you're working out.
I'll just take an Ozempic shot for 300, Alex.
I mean, if you can do that and it works, then more power to you, right? We just don't know if that's a good long-term solution, what the side effects are.
Not.
Okay, that's how basic and simple what we're getting ready to teach is. So we break down the TLOP blueprint this way. Every day, it starts with this. You need to have 10 meaningful conversations. And by the way, the reason why we have it on an Excel spreadsheet, because you have to track it. If you don't track it, it didn't happen.
Right.
If you don't track it, you don't know your numbers, and you can't run a successful business not knowing your numbers. Okay, so we want to track everything. It's our way of holding ourselves accountable. It's our ways of looking back to see, should we celebrate a great day? Should we be happy that we had a good day? Or should we look back and say, oh, yesterday was really bad. I need to come with my A game today so that I don't have 2 bad days in a row. It's okay to have a bad day. We're going to have bad days. It's not okay to have a slump or a streak of consecutive bad days. So we all start with 10 meaningful conversations. And here's what I love about 10 meaningful conversations. I'm not telling you exactly who the conversation has to be with. But I would tell you a meaningful conversation to me is I needed to have talked to somebody who is looking for a home loan, who is applying for a home loan, who wants to buy a house, somebody who could refer me clients or customers. Like I call clients referral sources. I call customers the actual borrower. So someone who can refer me a borrower, or someone who can refer me to someone who can refer me to referral sources, right? So for an example, if I'm talking to a lead, that's a meaningful conversation. If I'm talking to a past client, that's a meaningful conversation. If I'm talking to a realtor I know, meaningful conversation. If I'm talking to a builder I want to get to know, meaningful conversation. If I'm talking to a title company who's going to introduce me to 2 or 3 realtors, that's a meaningful conversation. If I'm talking to my best friend from college that we did a study abroad program together and we still go fishing in the Bahamas once a year together, and I'm talking to him about how I could potentially gain access to his clients and offer an affinity relationship to his clients, that's a meaningful conversation. If I'm talking to a lead that was referred to me 90 days ago, and I'm just doing a lead follow-up and they pick up and I talk to them, that's a meaningful conversation. Okay, so a meaningful conversation is very subjective, but that's what I'm talking about. Our job is to have 10 of those a day, just 10. Now, there's many times people are like, yeah, but like, how do I know who to call and when? So this is where I love theme days. And we did a whole entire episode 4 years ago on theme days. And I didn't create theme days. Other people created it. I learned it as a mortgage sales professional, but I also learned it when I used to do a lot of lifting. I've learned it as a triathlete. Like, we all do theme days. Heck, even in my household, we do theme days, right? Like, we know that we have fish every Friday. We know that every Thursday, we tend to have a meatless meal. We know that we go to dinner every Saturday, right? There's a theme. We know as a kid, as chores, I knew I had to empty the trash on Tuesday, the trash on Friday. I knew I had to clean my room on Saturday and do the yard on Sunday. Those are themes that my parents laid out for me. When I lift weights, I do chest on Monday, back on Tuesday, take Wednesday off, legs on Thursday, shoulders on Friday, right? Like, those are themes. As a triathlete, you see where I'm going with this. Swim on Monday, bike on Tuesday, run on Wednesday, bike on Thursday, right? Take Friday off. Then Saturday is going to be a long bike ride, and Sunday is going to be a long run. And occasionally I have to also swim also on Sunday, right? Like, those are themes. Well, what was taught to me and what I now coach, because it works. Like, if it ain't broke, you don't fix it, right? This works. In order for me to stay organized, to make sure that I'm hitting all the right buckets, then I broke out themes, and themes are part of the blueprint. I know on Monday, I'm going to call the realtors that I know. Realtors I know that know me, I'm going to call them. I'm going to check in with them. Basically, what am I doing? I'm fishing for referrals. That's what I'm doing. Tuesday, that's when I'm going to call my entire pipeline. These are people that are under contract, that have made loan application with me, and I'm going to give them a proactive update. Now, this is not an update call. This is a sales call. So I'm calling the listing agent. I'm calling the buyer's agent. I'm calling the title company. I'm calling the borrower. Yes, I'm giving them a proactive update, but I'm also, every single conversation, I'm hitting them up for another referral. Title companies, it's like, hey, how many other lenders do you know that do this? Do you like this? Is this a benefit to you all? Wouldn't you like to see this more often? Well, what realtors do you know that I don't know? I would love to meet with them so that they can also experience this type of service, so that you can experience this type of service more often, right? Like, that's the type of phone call that I'm having. Listing agent, buying agent. Like, buying agent, the person who referred to me, the borrower, I'm literally saying, John, hey, so this is the update on this transaction. Looks like things are going well. Dude, I love working with you. So I gave John the update. I love working with you. Who's next? Who's next? So I'm talking to the borrower. Same exact thing. Hey, this is the update. Everything's on track. Life's good. You know, I love working with you, John. You and your wife are such a pleasure. And what I've learned is, like, birds of a feather flock together. What that means is you probably know other people just like you who are looking to buy a house. I would love to be able to be the guy who helps them navigate this crazy process. Who do you know that's looking to buy a house right now that I could talk to, right? Like, we call them Tuesday status updates, but they're not just that. They're sales calls. Wednesday, that's when I'm touching base with every single past client. And I have a formula that I follow. And if you coach with us, I'll teach it to you. But basically, I'm doing annual mortgage reviews. So everybody, if this is July, everybody that I did a loan for the past 7 to 10 years, and it's July, I'm calling them and I'm trying to get them on my schedule so that I can give them their annual mortgage review. That's where I review the current market, what their home is worth, their current mortgage, whether or not a new mortgage would make sense for them, answering any questions, and by the way, reminding them I love their referrals. Who do they know? I want to help them when they need a new mortgage. Even if it's like, hey, you have a great mortgage, you have the right mortgage, life is good. Eventually, I make enough phone calls, I find out someone's getting divorced. I find out somebody's looking to buy their lake home. I find out someone has a kid who's finally out of the house looking to buy their own home, and I can be of service. So that's why I'm doing it. If you're newer to the industry and you don't have a past client database, that's okay. Call your circle of influence. Those people can refer you to builders, financial advisors, and realtors. So spend your time doing that. Also, you can do an annual mortgage review for your friends, your family, your ex-coworkers, your neighbors. So you can still offer it even though they're not your past client. They do own a home. They do have a mortgage. Thursday is when my theme is I'm calling those realtors that I don't know and they don't know me, right? These are my targets. I'm trying to get them to meet with me. On Friday's when I'm touching business professionals. These are financial advisors, divorce attorneys, etc.
Yeah.
Whether I know them or I want to get to know them is irrelevant to me, right? Because to me, Friday, if I made it through Monday through Thursday,
it's time to party.
Dude, I'm at 80%. I got a B for the week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is how I go from a B to an A. That's when I'm making those phone calls. Okay, now, when you're looking at your 10 meaningful conversations, trust me when I tell you this, not all 10 will come from your theme days, right? Like, you may have called a past client on Wednesday. They called you back on Monday. So just because Monday's theme is to call realtors that you do know and that know you, you can still have a meaningful conversation. with a past client because maybe they called you back. You can still have a meaningful conversation with a divorce attorney on Tuesday because maybe they're returning your phone call from Friday. But the theme is just our way of knowing what do I have to do today. But tracking the 10 meaningful conversations, that's did I have a good day or not? Okay. And every single day, every day, I have tried it 3 different ways throughout my career as an originator. This is what worked best for me. I call my leads daily. I have a prospect follow-up system, and a lot of it is automated, right? Like I utilize a CRM. Do you know what the best CRM is?
The one that you use.
The one that you use. Now look, shout out to our friends over at Adium. I love Adium. Love what they do. I love the fact that it's basic, it's easy to use, out of the box, it's great for a single originator. Like my whole team is on Jungo. Jungo is Salesforce. Salesforce is cumbersome, but if you have experience in CRMs and you have a CRM administrator, Jungo can be really badass. But Usurpa is good and Total Expert is good. Like there are other good CRMs out there, but the best one is one that you use. So yes, I do have a customized, systematized, automated campaign for both my prospects, my in-process, and my post-closings. Shout out to HomeBot. Okay. Although I've heard MBS Highway has their own type of new service for loan officers to enter in their past client information and have them marketed to. I haven't had a chance to really do a deep dive on it. But HomeBot's a great product. Sounds like MBS Highway has something very similar. I have all that, and every one of my loan officers who works for me has it. It's like it's our standard operating procedure. Like if you work here, we give you this.
Yeah.
Okay. But you need to be calling. The difference between good and great is those loan officers who pick up the phone daily and they call the leads and they do a follow-up. Okay. And here's the trick. You don't just call the lead to do the follow-up. You then call the referral source and give them an update. That's another potential meaningful conversation. If you get that prospective client on the phone, that's a meaningful conversation. And you have to have some kind of a system, whether it's a notebook, whether it's the 31-day prospect follow-up system, whether it's utilizing your CRM, that after you call them, you put notes, and then you move them somewhere in your system based on that conversation when you're going to call them next. Maybe you talk to them and they told you they just renewed their lease and it's July and they renewed the lease for 12 months. Well, now I'm going to put them in probably March of next year because I don't want to call them to March of next year if they just renewed their lease. Maybe I left them a voicemail, so I'm going to move them to next Monday because I'm like, look, I left them a voicemail. If I don't hear from them, then I'm going to call them again because my last conversation was one in which I had got the impression that they were pretty hot to trot looking to buy something soon. Okay, so like that's where there is no right or wrong. You make a mid-game adjustment based on how the conversation went when you call them next. But I'm every day when I'm following the blueprint, I'm calling my prospects every day. And those prospects can become meaningful conversations. Okay. The next thing on the blueprint that you should be doing, and these are all like daily, weekly activities right now. We have a couple that are monthly and I'll get to them and maybe that's how we'll wrap up today's show. But every day we teach this at the MLO coaching community. We teach this through LO Launch. 30-10-5-5-3-1. That is our secret code for cracking successfully networking online. That's social media. That's LinkedIn, that's Facebook, that's Instagram, and heck, even if you want to go there, TikTok. Okay, 30 minutes a day. That's all you need. Intentional networking online where you're going to be hearting, liking, giving emojis on 10 people's posts. You're going to be connecting with 5 new people every single day. You're going to be commenting on 5 people's posts. You're going to be DMing or messaging 3 people, and then you're going to be posting once your day. That's it. Once yourself daily. So 30, 10, 5, 5, 3, 1. That is a part of the blueprint. And then things that you should be doing daily is you have to fuel your brain. You have to fuel your soul. We fuel our brain with the content that we consume through education. Read for 10 minutes a day. Read 10 pages a day. Think about this. If you read 10 pages a day, you would read at least 1 book a month. 1 book a month, there's 12 months in the year. You read 12 books. When was the last time many of you have read 12 books?
Never.
Period.
Never.
Yes, but if you break it down to just 10 pages a day,
that's doable.
That's very doable. Yeah, so on the blueprint, I want you reading And I want you reading books like Never Split the Difference or 10X is Better Than 2X or Extreme Ownership. Even like David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me. Like that's a great book to read. I mean, heck, read a biography on someone famous like Steve Jobs. Like that's probably an inspirational book that can make you better at business. Any book probably on Colin Powell would be something in terms of leadership. Reading something by Peter Drucker if you're in management. Reading something by, 5 Levels of Leadership. Who's our guy with 5 levels leader? John Maxwell.
Oh, yeah, that
right
guy.
there, like 10 pages. So that is on the blueprint. And I promise you, okay, science backs my next claim. Science.
Bill Nye.
You got to move your body. You got to get outside. You got to increase your heart rate. You got to sweat a little bit. 4 times a week. 4 times a week for 50 minutes.
Wow.
You need to get your heart rate up. You need to go experience some of that vitamin D that comes from sunlight. You got to take in the fresh air. You got to stand up, move your body. It's amazing what that does for the chemicals, reactions in your brain, for what it does for your spirit and your soul. Yes.
Yeah.
Exercise. Read daily. Exercise daily. Right? That is on the blueprint. So that right there, those are the things that we have found. If you can do this at a 70% or better, right? Meaning you hit 70% of everything on that sheet, daily, weekly, monthly, you're going to be a C player. C players get paid in this industry. C players are making a couple $100,000 a year in this industry. B players are making $300,000 a year. A players are making $500,000 to $1 million plus a year. And all you need to do is follow the blueprint. It's this easy. This is what to do daily, weekly, monthly. So monthly and weekly, we haven't covered yet. So let's cover that real quick. Week. Week.
ERRY.
Yep. Just like everybody in the club getting tipsy. Week. Every single week. 3. Just 3. Need you to get face-to-face, belly-to-belly, one-on-one, or one-to-one with 3 people that can refer you business. If you're a seasoned professional, it may be 3 people you already know. If you're just getting started, it may be with 3 strangers. For most of us, it's a combo, right? If you're like getting started, but you have some momentum, it may be 1 person you know and 2 people you don't know. And if you're a seasoned professional, it's probably 2 people you know, 1 person you want to get to know. But 3 people a week you need to be getting face-to-face and belly-to-belly with. And I do know that some weeks you may have 6 and some weeks you may have 1. Okay, I know 3 is my average because I know that our industry very much is a marathon and not a sprint, but there's times in this industry where you're going to sprint. There's times that you're going to walk. There's sometimes you're going to jog, and there's sometimes you have to take a break and get some ice and some water, right? You may need to sit down and like bandage that wound before you get back up and start walking. My times to sprint typically as a mortgage loan originator, and again, we coach this, is between the 3rd week of January and Easter is a great time to sprint. And then Labor Day through Thanksgiving is a great time to sprint. So when I'm talking about selling and marketing and networking, those are my sprint times. And then there's times that I rest. That may be very, very well the last 10 days of the year and the first week of the new year is a time that maybe I rest. And there's definitely times I walk and there's times that I jog. Okay. But 3 face-to-face, one-on-one, in-person meetings. If you need to do Zoom or Teams to Teams, do that. But I'm still a huge proponent of there's nothing like getting face-to-face with somebody. Okay. You need to also two networking events a month. 2 networking events. Now, the networking event may be you hosting a lunch and learn. Awesome. It may be you hosting a happy hour. Awesome. The networking event may be BNI. The networking event may be Women's Council Realtors. The networking event may be you going to a FAMP or an MBA type function. Perfect. But 2 networking events per month. If you can do that, that is the blueprint. That's all you have to do. Loan officers, mortgage brokers, RMLOs, MLOs, mortgage advisors, VPs of lending, whatever you want to call yourself. If you're looking for, hey, what do I do? DO and JC, how do I become successful? Really easy. Follow the blueprint. This is the formula for success. This is our holy grail. And we know it works because we lived it. We know it works because we have coaching students living it. And we see their results. We see their W-2s. We see their bank statements. We see their retirement accounts. And guess what? They don't suck. So if you want to have W-2s and pay stubs, retirement accounts and investment accounts that don't suck, really easy, do what we just talked about.
That's really inspiring, Dustin.
Yes, I hope so, John.
It is.
I hope so. I mean, on that note, I don't have anything else. Like the only thing else I would have for people besides, hey, please share us. Sharing is caring.
Yeah.
If you like this type of content, please make sure you're giving us a 5-star review. Please make sure you're sharing this with not 1, not 2, but 3 other people that you know that would benefit from our content. But if you're listening on Spotify or on Apple or anywhere else you go to get your podcast, please know we have an entire YouTube channel that has more than just podcast episodes. It has training videos, it has clips, it has shorts. You should go subscribe to the TLOP YouTube channel. If you have not done so already. I personally write a newsletter. It comes out every single Thursday. It is free. Go ahead, go to tloponline.com. Make sure you sign up for our newsletter. You subscribe to our YouTube channel. And then more specifically, if you are listening to this and you're like, damn, I want more of that. I want to be coached. I want sales training. I want business advice that comes not just from DO, but from our faculty. I want to connect with other mortgage loan originators throughout the country and share best practices with them, but I'm not looking to break the bank. Cool. We have the best solution. It is the TLOP MLO coaching community. Go to our website, sign up for it today. If you want to see behind the scenes before you make your investment, we'll give you that opportunity to hop on a strategy call with Nikki Ray from our team. And if you're really interested in some badass next level up, take my business to where I need it to go, we will be opening up only 20 seats for our LO launch, which is a small group, intimate, in your face, hold you accountable 16-week program. You can inquire about that also on TLOP Online. He's John Coleman. I'm Dustin Owen. That is all the time we had for you today. We do look forward to catching you on the next episode. Peace.